Welcome to Wealth, Words, and Wisdom, where real-life conversations lead to financial clarity. I'm Ashley Carter, alongside my co-host, Carrie Boatner. In this conversation-driven podcast, we talk about real-life topics like parenting, marriage, business, faith, and leadership, all things that naturally lead into deeper discussions about financial understanding, long-term planning, and wise stewardship. Get ready for some honest discussions about money, responsibility, and the choices that shape our future. Let's get into today's conversation. Welcome back to Wealth, Words, and Wisdom. Today, we are going to be talking about something that sounds exciting at first, but it can actually be really overwhelming if you're not prepared. And that is receiving a lump sum of money. Now, this could be from an inheritance, a legal settlement, selling a business, maybe cashing out a retirement account, or even just a large amount of money that you've built up over time. So a lot of times what we're finding is the question becomes, what do I do with this large sum of money? Because one wrong move can really undo something that took years to build. Right, Carrie?
Yes, Ashley. One of the big mistakes that people make is they move too fast. They get that large sum of money and they feel pressured to either invest it, or maybe there's things they've been wanting to buy for a long time and they want to spend it really quick. They just want to do something with it. But here's the truth. You don't have to make a decision immediately. Lump sum brings with it a lot of emotions. It can bring a great feeling of responsibility. Maybe you feel like you need to do something for other people, right? And the pressure of feeling like you need to pay off debt or give to a certain charity. There's a whole lot that is wrapped up in that. And some emotional decisions with money are usually the most expensive ones. And we want to help walk you through what that can look like and how to not make those big mistakes that you do in an instant, but you regret later.
Yes, absolutely. So, Carrie, before anything else, we're all about protecting the money first. So we're not first looking at how to grow your money, how to multiply your money, which puts it at risk potentially. We're looking first at how to protect it. So if this money is meant to change your life, so let's think about all these ways that we're getting these large lump sums of money. If that money's meant to change your life, then the first goal is to make sure it doesn't just disappear, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So this is especially important for people maybe getting close to retirement age, people who are no longer earning a consistent income. So let's say, for instance, someone gets hurt at work and they no longer have their job, but they received a large sum of money. I know someone personally who this is happening to. So if they're no longer earning income, then they better protect that lump sum that they got, right?
Yeah.
And then also think about people who maybe can't afford to start over. It's very important to protect this money.
Yeah. So one of the next things that people need to do when they do get access to that money is they need to ask themselves several questions. And here's just a few questions that we think are really important to ask is number one, is that money taxable? Where does it fall as far as the IRS is concerned? And did that money come from a retirement account? Some people cash those out. Is the money already taxed? Is it pre-tax dollars? Is it after-tax dollars? And another question is, are there penalties involved if you move the money incorrectly? And this one, Ashley, is huge. And this is where I feel like it's super important for people to be able to seek counsel with us so that we can analyze where that money's coming from and make sure that we're doing everything we can to avoid any kind of penalties. Because not all dollars are treated the same. We not only want to help protect it, we want to help protect it from having to pay unnecessary fees and unnecessary penalties.
And unnecessary taxes too, right?
That's right. Yes, absolutely.
So, Carrie, let's talk for a minute about the emotional side of this large lump sum of money, because this is really big. And I don't feel like that gets talked about enough, to be honest. Money like this large lump sum of money, it often comes with loss. So if someone is inheriting this large amount of money, then that
Mhm.
means that they have experienced a loss. And it could be a stressful time. Maybe it's from some type of settlement that they have received through a court order. Well, that is going to be a very stressful situation. Or maybe someone has been forced to retire early, or they've had to take some type of severance pay. That big life transition can be super emotional and really hard on people. And that really affects how people make decisions. And just because you receive this amount of money doesn't mean that you're emotionally ready yet to manage it. And that's where we step in. So we're able to look at this financial situation without all the emotions attached, and we're able to help our clients see different options that are safest for them, that are going to be able to grow their money and protect their future.
I love that you brought that up, Ashley, because money can be very emotional. And these things that you just highlighted are definitely things that can affect us in that way. And we want to be clear minded. And I think that's why it's super important at a time like that when people can be vulnerable to seek help and seek guidance. And the other thing, too, is that people are going to be coming from different directions. You're going to have family members that maybe they, put their money in a particular way, and friends that have a particular financial advisor or whatever. So, I just want to just talk about these common mistakes that we see people doing so that we can help our listeners avoid these types of things. So, one of them is going to be, of course, putting all of it into the market immediately. And I know lately, I don't know about you, Ashley, but I see on social media and everybody's talking about this stock and this is what's going to make you a millionaire. There's going to be more millionaires made by buying this stock. And you see so many different people recommending different stocks to buy. And it's very, very important that people recognize that the stock is a very risky place to put money unless you have your money secured in an account like Ashley and I do. We strategically place people's money in certain indexes, but we make sure that that money is never at risk for market loss. So it's not dangerous to have your money in the stock market, but it is dangerous to put it in the stock market where you're not guaranteed that your money is 100% safe. Another thing is going to be, again, taking advice from your friends or social media. Your friends, they're going to say, I bought my stock here. Or like I said, they put it with a particular financial advisor that wasn't giving them all of their options. And the other thing too is that a lot of people, their motives are very self-serving. And I know that you and I feel the same way, Ashley. Like we view what we do as mothers as a ministry. We view what we do with our other forms of income as a great ministry. You with health, me with stem cells and paramedical tattooing. But even this financial business, we view it as a ministry. And our goal and our motive is to make sure that people are not led astray. The word of God tells us that my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And I know that we have had our eyes opened to things as it pertains to our finances. And that is what we are here to do, to help serve people so that they don't lose their money. Another thing, people trying to double their money. Maybe they have a little itch to go to Vegas. Maybe their friends say, hey, let's go to Vegas. Let's double our money. And that can even happen just when people put their money in high risk investments without protection. As we've mentioned before, Ashley and I only put our clients into accounts that have a zero floor, which means your money will never, ever lose money. And then some people just say, you know what, I'm just going to let it sit. I'm not going to do anything with it. But even then, your money is at risk. So large amounts of money, they don't fix financial habits. They expose them. I like to say money is a multiplier. It's a magnifier. If you gamble a little when you have a little money, you're going to gamble a lot when you have a lot of money. People who have unhealthy habits like drinking or substance abuse, they do a little of it when they have a little money. They do a lot of it when they have a lot of money. On the flip side, people who are givers, they give a little when they have a little, but when they have a lot, they give a lot. Positive things, even like giving, but not giving with wisdom and with a strategy, can also be a very dangerous pitfall for someone to fall into. And that's what Ashley and I are here to do, is to be unemotional about your money, those large sums of money. We're unemotional. The only attachment we have is the desire and the motivation to help you protect that money and put it in a place where it will grow tax-free and grow without ever suffering from market loss without fees. Again, I know we've said this a zillion times before, but we don't charge any management fees to help you protect your money.
Carrie, when you mentioned just leaving that money sitting alone without a plan for it, I thought of the scripture that says, without vision, the people perish. And I look at that as with no plan, with no guidance, the people perish. So if you are just sitting here and you're not doing anything with it, then it's not going to be able to work for you and do good things for you. And you're not going to be able to do good with that money, right?
Yeah.
You're just leaving it and not getting counsel on what to do with that money.
That's almost like opportunity loss, right? Where we've talked about that before. There's an opportunity to make money with your money, but when you make no decision and it's sitting there, you are actually losing an opportunity to gain money. It's a whole expense all on its own. Maybe people don't feel it, but it's still happening. That loss that you experience.
Absolutely. So, Carrie, instead of people asking, what should I do with this money? They really should ask themselves, what is this money supposed to do for me? So, is this money going to be serving the person as part of their income? Is it protection for their financial future? Are they looking to just grow this money? Are they really looking to use this money for legacy planning for their heirs? Or is this money just going to be available for them for flexibility reasons, to give them more choices and options in life? There are different goals and they're all going to require different strategies. And again, that's where we come in, where we can show people a free service we offer is to look at people's finances, look at their financial plan, look at what money they have available, and we're able to show them different options and strategies that's going to address their particular needs or goals. And that's a free service we provide, Carrie.
That's right. And how fortunate are people? The thing is, too, Ashley, I would say that even up until we became educated in this way, I always felt like financial planning and speaking to someone who can help you with your money and come up with strategies had to only be for wealthy people. I don't know if you felt that way, but I just kind of felt like, well, I have to reach a certain goal or you have to have a certain level of income before I'm even eligible to talk to someone about these types of things. I know right now we're talking about lump sums of money, but even in the course of listening to this, if you don't have a lump sum of money, I just want to throw it out there. This podcast is for you. A large lump sum of money to you could be $1,500. And guess what? We want to help you with $1,500. We do. We want to help every single person under the sound of our voice who is needing help and needing guidance and wants someone to lock arms with them and help you come up with a strategy that's going to help you in your life. Thank you for bringing up those different categories that really help people understand what they need to do as it pertains to strategies for their money. I like to think of it like this. This is a super simple concept, but most people can benefit by dividing their money into what I call purpose-based buckets. Like, what is the purpose of this money? And putting that money into 3 separate buckets. So let's use the first bucket. Let's call that bucket protection bucket. This is where your money is completely safe. It's very stable, constant growth. It's not going to be exposed to market loss. And it's really like foundation money. And a great example of that would be an FIA. So with an FIA, your money is going to be protected from market loss. And this would be a great example of something that maybe you've put your money away, it's grown consistently, and you're going to use that money for retirement income. So that's your protection bucket. Our second bucket, we're going to call that one our liquidity bucket. That's where our money is easily accessible. We can use that for an emergency use or maybe just an opportunity fund. Like we've talked about people wanting to buy a car or go on a vacation, redo their kitchen, have a surgery. This is where we have talked to you previously about cash value policies. And so that one is one, again, complete protection from market loss, uninterrupted compound interest, tax-free growth on interest and dividends. And then our third bucket, that's going to be the one where maybe you're just a little bit more at risk. That can be some long-term investments, or it can be something short-term where you put some of your money in the market. It's opportunity-based. There's higher risk. Again, you could have some higher potential, but that third bucket is the one that we look at only after we have secured our money in bucket number 1, which is our protection bucket. Again, a great example is an FIA. And in our liquidity bucket, bucket number 2, that is our cash value policy. And that's where we have the protection and a beautiful inheritance for our family. This type of a bucket system is one that helps people avoid putting everything into just one place. And it also gives your money some place to go and some place to grow.
I love those 3 buckets, Carrie, and I think that is a really great way to explain to people how they could be utilizing this money and how they could really be using it the best possible way. So let's talk about a real life scenario here. Let's say someone receives $200,000. Instead of just throwing all that money into the market, they might protect a portion of it. They might keep some of it accessible, and then they might strategically grow some of it. And so in my mind, I'm thinking that really creates balance.
That's right, Ashley. And, the goal isn't to make the fastest decision. It's to make the smartest one. We've heard it said before, a fool and their money are soon parted, right? Because once money is lost, it takes time, energy, and a lot of stress to rebuild it. Here's what Ashley and I would like for you to take away from today's episode. If you've recently received a lump sum of money or it's coming, this is your reminder. We want you to slow down. We want you to get some clarity, and we want to help you build a plan. Because this exact moment, it has the potential to change your entire financial future in a good way. Or conversely, it could be a costly one. If you want help walking through what this could look like for you in your current situation, we're here to help you do that. Remember what Ashley said in the very beginning, and she outlined some of the emotional things that can happen with money, where you could be at emotionally with whatever your life circumstances has been that brought you to receiving this lump sum of money. We want to help you walk through that. We want to pray with you over that situation. We want to help you gain clarity and security while you're protecting your money. We hope that today has given you some hope for your future. Our goal and our objective is to be here for you, whether you are receiving a lump sum of money or, like I mentioned before, maybe you're just someone who has a small sum of money sitting to the side. You don't have to be wealthy to be able to access the wisdom and the knowledge that Ashley and I have spent quite a bit of time compiling for ourselves and for our own family. We are here to help. Please make sure to tune in next Tuesday to listen to our next episode of Wealth, Words, and Wisdom. If you feel like the information that we've provided today has been a blessing to you, that it's provided some clarity for you, please share it with your friends and family, because we are here to help you navigate through the different financial scenarios that you may find yourself in this life. Thanks again for listening, and we will talk to you next week. Thank you for listening to Wealth, Words, and Wisdom. Our goal is simple. It's to help you approach your financial decisions with clarity, confidence, and with intention. Because we know that when wisdom leads the way, your money decisions will feel less overwhelming and they will be far more aligned with your real life. If something you heard today resonated with you and you'd like to explore your options, we offer complimentary strategy sessions. There's no pressure, there's no obligation, it's just education and clarity. You can reach out to us at wealthwordsandwisdompodcast@gmail.com. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if this episode was helpful, share it with friends or family who you believe could benefit from this conversation. Until next time, remember, wealth grows where wisdom leads.